Shootings only happens in America. Doesn't happen anywhere else across the world. Or maybe it's just because you're not told about it, and that's why it doesn't happen, because you're not told. But when you're told, you realize that it's not all far too uncommon to happen.
It's always interesting when someone starts down a path that would lead them to a realization, but during that journey their brain reboots and they never finish the trip. This is the article he has in the background. It was an attack on a church in Nigeria in which multiple gunmen used guns and explosives to kill church parishioners. And while I did cut down his video for the sake of time, he did state factually what happened in this attack. But he's attempting to use it to state that the mass shootings that we have in America happen all over the world. And to an extent, yes, I agree with him on that. But that's where he should have came to the realization that his brain didn't take him to. If I were to take that AP News article about the attack in Nigeria to any conservative in this country, and ask them if they believe this was an act of terrorism, I'm pretty confident that I wouldn't find a single one that said, no, that's not terrorism. In fact, I'm pretty sure I can ask liberals and leftists the same question, and they would all agree. That was an act of terrorism. While at the time of recording this, no group has claimed responsibility for the Nigeria attack, we can pretty much agree that those people walked into that church and killed a bunch of people to push a political, racial, or religious message. That's terrorism. So I could ask these conservatives, was this Nigeria attack terrorism? I can ask them, what is the cause of this attack? Every one of them would agree that the cause of that attack was terrorism. But what happens when I ask them what was the cause of Dylan Roof walking into a black church with guns and killing black church parishioners? While I won't say the number is 0, because I have actually met conservatives that state that Dylan Roof was a terrorist, that number that would agree with me that Dylan Roof walking into a black church and killing people was an act of terrorism. I can say this with confidence because conservative politicians and conservative news stations did every effort they could to not use the terrorism word when talking about Dylan Roof. To the point that they put out opinion pieces asking why didn't anyone help Dylan Roof, blaming that attack on mental illness. They did entire segments discussing that attack. Again, blaming it on mental illness and a political correct society. So there's an ultimate irony in a conservative in America quoting a terrorist attack overseas to highlight that other countries have the same problem as we do. But while making every excuse when a white man in the United States does it, to not use the word terrorism. Because there's only 3 differences in what happened between Nigeria and Dylan Roof. Dylan Roof didn't use explosives. Explosives are not a requirement for it to be a terrorist attack. And the other 2 are where it happened and the skin color of the gunman. Until conservatives are willing to call the attacks in America what they actually are, their opinion on how to fix them doesn't matter.